Hi guys, Vino here, coming at you with a Vino Plonk production and coming at you with somewhat of an update video. I do have a cup of coffee with me in the Zelda mug, so please feel free to join me with your drink of choice. This is actually quite warm. This is my third take of this video, so it's still quite warm. My coffee machine right now is running really hot for some reason. I need to try and look at its settings to see if I can reduce the temperature of the water and see why it's running hot right now, but cheers guys. So feel free to grab your drink of choice and join me for this video. There's been some changes around here in terms of the device that I use on a regular basis. So those of you that are friends of mine and those of you that have been on my channel for quite some time now will know that I am prone to doing some impulsive things every so often, and I've gone ahead and done an impulsive thing. Now, however, this is probably going to be the last impulsive thing I do for quite some time. Stay tuned towards the end of this video for the whole video to get the whole picture and understand what I'm going to be doing going forward. So the TLDR is I've now ended up with a OnePlus 7 Pro phone and a FireMax 11 tablet from AMA ZON. I can't say that word completely because it will activate the Alexa voice activated assistant on here. So you may be wondering why. So I was a little bit short financially this month, and whenever that happens I tend to look on Facebook Marketplace. I mean, yes, I could have sold box sets and stuff like that to get through, but I didn't want to be honest. So I started looking on Facebook Marketplace to buy a tablet and to use this, which is our spare phone, as a phone for the foreseeable, and just use it as a phone, just a call, text, messages, maybe Discord, Facebook Messenger, that sort of stuff. Just use it as a phone. However, there's a reason why I have the OnePlus 7, as we'll get into in this video. So initially I was looking at getting an iPad Pro 4th generation from somebody and a Nothing phone from somebody else. The person was going to hold on to the Nothing phone until the end of the month for me, and I was going to buy the iPad Pro from the person this weekend. However, upon further investigation of the person with the iPad Pro, it was a 4th gen iPad Pro. However, there are a couple of red flags. The first red flag is it says iPad on the back rather than iPad Pro. So from the 4th generation onwards of the iPad Pro, they put iPad Pro on the back, whereas the 3rd generation backwards, they just put iPad on the back. Plus some of the pictures that the person was not sending me, had on their Facebook Messenger profile were very zoomed in, basically. And when I asked him if he could send me a picture of the about screen to show me what model number it is so I could actually double check, he deflected. He kept deflecting. So at the end of the day, I was like, I'm not going to go forward and spend £300 on a potentially less, on a misadvertised iPad, basically. So long story short, I had the opportunity on Wednesday to leave work early. So I've had an ear infection for a week, so I had to leave work early on the Wednesday to go to a doctor's appointment, and then I decided to take the rest of the off work. Basically, I used that time to do a few things. So I used that time to go down to CX and sell my S23 Ultra to CX. I then was using this as my spare phone for a bit, and for the first few days, I could receive calls, receive texts, send calls, send text, that sort of stuff. But as of Thursday onwards, this decided to stop receiving calls and texts and basically has no mobile network. Hence why I now have this, essentially. Now, I know this phone does have problems with my SIM. It is a Sky phone. I'm on the Sky network. It is on the Sky network. However, it has an issue with newer SIMs. So this phone is now 4, 5, maybe 6 years old at this point, and I have a newer Sky SIM because I had to get a newer one last year when my Note 20 Ultra decided to fry itself in terms of mobile network. To troubleshoot, oops, sorry, just knocked my mic. To troubleshoot that whole thing, they sent me a new SIM just to try out if it was the SIM that was the issue. So I now have a newer SIM, basically, which this phone doesn't like. Now, part of the issue, not only was I not contactable, when I was outside of a Wi-Fi area, but any app that wants to send me a two-factor authentication code couldn't, because a lot of them send that through SMS, and I couldn't receive SMSs. I couldn't make calls. There was a whole host of issues that was going on. So the seller, or this particular item, this OnePlus 7 Pro, had been saved in my saved area on Facebook Marketplace for a while. And long story short, I asked the guy what's the lowest price he would be willing to do it for me, and he said 80 quid. When I sold my S23 to CX, they actually gave me £60 more than I was expecting. I was expecting a B grade, they gave me an A grade, which gave me an extra 60 quid. So I basically used that money to buy this phone. Now, there are some caveats when it comes to this phone. However, there are some scratches on the screen, but to be honest, they're fairly non-noticeable. However, the big issue with this phone is the screen. There's massive burn-in, actually. I don't know if you can see this, but there's a pink tinge 2/3 of the way down the phone, and you can see at the top there's some very obvious burn-in where the indicators are at the top. However, the battery has been refurbished and the camera has been refurbished, because if I show you, if I go into the camera and go into selfie mode and you watch very closely, a little pop-up camera pops up there, and if I now get rid of the camera app, it just goes back down. That, I think, is actually really, really cool. The reason that's been refurbished is actually about a year or so ago, a lot of these were on Facebook Marketplace, because OnePlus actually released a worthy successor to the OnePlus 7 Pro, because this is kind of a legendary, air quotes, legendary phone. And there's a lot of people that still to this day love this phone. But a lot of those phones had a faulty pop-up camera, because that's one of the biggest points of fail for this phone is the camera. So it's really good that the individual has refurbished the battery, refurbished the camera. However, the screen obviously has its issues. Also, when I got the phone, his friend dropped it off for me because the seller is away at the moment. I went into my living room, unboxed the phone because it comes with its box and everything. The back fell off. So I sent some pictures to the seller, and I was kind of like, yeah, this has happened. He goes, I'm really, really sorry. Also, it's not meant to be that pink. Why is it pink? And he said, no matter what, you'll get a refund. Play around with the phone. If you want to keep it, keep it. If you don't, don't. Basically, I did ask if he'd be willing to reduce the price even more. He said, no, if you want to keep it, you keep it at the price you've paid. So I then spent the majority of Thursday evening. Was it Thursday evening? Was it yesterday evening? Yesterday evening, playing around with the OnePlus. And I have to say, I really like the phone in of itself, to be honest. And the burn-in has actually decreased quite a bit, which is why I think it was pinker. Why he was so surprised it was so pink is because if you start using the phone for a bit, the burn-in actually gets less. Now, having said that, I have done some research and I can buy a replacement screen for this, or a replacement front unit basically, for about £120 for a decent quality one that comes with a load of tools, that is an official OnePlus 7 Pro screen. It's been taken off of a functioning OnePlus 7 Pro, so at some point down the road I'm probably going to be purchasing one of those screens and replacing this myself. But to be honest, all I do is text, I call, obviously, I message on Discord and Messenger. It works perfectly well for that, to be honest. Yes, okay, it's a bit of an irritation that there's a very pink tinge, but the really funny thing with it is if I look at the phone for a while, then look at everything else looks so much more bluer and more muted and more colourful. So in some ways, it's given me a better appreciation for everything else. Always look for the positive, guys. Always look for the positives. So the idea behind was using Xperia 1 and then getting a tablet of some description is because I was going to use the phone as a phone, and any media consumption I was going to use on a tablet of some description. So Tuesday and Wednesday of this week were Prime Day. So Amazon was selling a lot of items.
I'm having trouble connecting to the internet. Check your Wi-Fi network connection by going to settings.
I said the dreaded A word, the AMAZON word, and so it decided to activate its voice assistant. Anyway, as I was saying, so luckily Wi-Fi is not connected on this at the moment for some reason, which is actually a positive for me, because if it was, I might have gone ahead and just ordered one of these by accident by using the Alexa assistant. Anyway, so yeah, so Tuesday and Wednesday this week were Prime Days. The 16th and 17th of July, respectively, were Prime Days. So I almost said it, were selling a bunch of stuff, a lot cheaper. And they were selling the Fire Max 11, which is their top of the line tablet. The tablet itself was £139, and I got it with the keyboard case and the stylus. I got the whole lot for £264, and I paid £80 for this. The £60 extra from, I don't know if I actually said that yet. Well, if I haven't said this yet, if I have, I apologise. If I haven't, I'm just going to say it again, just in case. So when I sold the S23 to CX, they gave me a better grade than I was expecting, basically. So I used that money to get this. Now, that's pretty much what I've gone ahead and done. So I'll be using this primarily to consume content, YouTube, AMA, ZON related stuff, Prime Video, Kindle, that sort of stuff. Using this, I have sideloaded the Play Store on this. This is the 64 gig version. However, I have stuck 128 gig SD card in this, and it does allow for adoptable or adoptive, however you word it, storage, so you can install apps and stuff onto the SD cards. So this now has 175 gig worth of storage on it. This is 256 plus between various subscriptions that I have at the moment, I've got about 3 terabytes of cloud storage available to me between Google and Microsoft OneDrive. So I can store things in the cloud if I wish to and just download it ad hoc as I wish. Also, because I have brought it off to sort of show this off, I do have my Steam Deck, obviously. So if I want to, I've got this for gaming. I don't really game on my phone personally anyway, but one thing that I did think about, considering that there is this significant burn-in, is, if I want to play a game here and there, well, I have my Steam Deck, and I am thinking of buying a different, better laptop bag from Facebook Marketplace, just from off there at some point, just £5-10 bag that someone's selling that I can put all this into at my work laptop, and maybe I can take it all into work with me, and whatever I wish to do with that. So that's this basically. Long story short, also getting this Fire Max 11, I can have it in video, so I can have it to one side, and I can use it to have the information up. If I want to stream, I can use it to have the chat up, that sort of stuff. So it's actually quite a versatile, useful bit of kit to have regardless. So yeah, that's what's got. Also, this has a custom Android 14 ROM on it as well. Although this phone stopped at Android 12, it actually has a custom ROM on it, because OnePlus phones are far easier to put custom ROMs on than this is. You can't even get to the install custom ROMs on this because Sony have decided to lock it down profusely. Right, on the subject of me and impulsive purchases, money spending, that's probably going to stop basically from now on. So I have subscribed to the, as you guys know, I did pledge to Blood, that board game, and the next few months they're going to be opening up the pledge manager, and I'm going to have to pay postage, plus there's probably a load of additional extras they'll be putting through the pledge manager that you have the option of buying. There's the talk, there might be a dice tower, there might be dice boxes, that sort of stuff, and of course that's going to cost extra. I've already looked it up, it's going to cost €55 postage, so I need to bear in mind that at some point in the next couple of months I'm going to have to pay €55 worth of postage, so that's in the back of the mind. Plus there is actually a subscription I want to subscribe to. I've got some things to the side here to sort of illustrate that. So many years ago, Eagle Moss did this collection. This is the DC Comics DC Comics graphic novel collection. Now I subscribed to this for quite some time. As you can see, I've got some these graphic novels. Here is Infinite Crisis, one of their bumper issues, whatever it is. You can see I haven't, some of these are completely still cellophaned. Right, I, as you can see, didn't continue with that particular collection because back then I was still part-time, and this was £30 to £40 a month, depending on how many issues were being released. Well, I'm not only full-time now, but I'm earning a lot more than I earned when I was at my previous job. There's another collection that Fan Home are now doing, which is the Batman, the legendary Batman comic collection, I think it's called. Basically, it's a Batman graphic novel collection that they're doing. That is going to cost, depending on how many issues per month they wish to send me, basically between 30 to 50, maybe £60 a month, depending. There are some bumper editions that cost a bit extra. Each issue costs $14.99 each, and a bumper edition costs $21.99. Plus, I'll be spending an extra £1.25 per issue to get some extra issues. And every so often, they'll be doing a super duper issue that you can buy separately if you wish to. And I'll probably be doing that anyway. So, long story short, I'm not going to be probably purchasing, outlaying much for the next few months. Obviously, I will be buying some games here and there. I'm strongly considering purchasing Shadow of the Erdtree very, very soon. But long story short, I think, and this is the reason why I'm doing this video, going to sort of cut down on my impulsiveness. I have noticed it has caused issues. In fact, the impulsiveness is kind of why I was kind of short on money this month. But it is what it is. At the end of the day, I've realised it's an issue and I'm going to try and rectify it to the best of my ability. And I'm actually really looking forward to the Batman collection. I will be unpackaging those graphic novels on video, and I'm probably going to be reading through some of these graphic novels at some point since I have them, and giving you guys the reviews of them, my thoughts, my opinions, what have you. So I think that will be pretty good. There's actually quite a few Batman ones of these. There's JLA. Oh, there's another bumper edition. Oh, Infinite Crisis. Oh, Infinite Crisis. No Crisis on Infinite Earth, and that's Infinite Crisis. So I've got two bumper editions. The reason I actually subscribed to this one originally is because eventually we're going to do Darkest Night, which is a graphic novel I've wanted for a very, 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 very long time. I'm probably just going to go ahead and buy the whole Darkest Night arc, or Darkest Night, Brightest Day arc myself at some point. Yeah, probably do that. Do the Batman graphic novel collection and buy Darkest Night, Brightest Day arc of comics myself at some point. I hope you enjoyed this little bit of an update, guys. But yes, that's the cut and dry of it. Is I'm going to be reducing my outlay on things, being a bit more responsible with money. Really happy with with the Fire Max 11 and the OnePlus 7 Pro, and be getting the Batman comics, and of course you guys will be I'll do reviews, what have you. Probably we'll see how things go, but I might buy a couple of cheap Batman related box sets next month. Who knows? There's one person on Facebook Marketplace that's been selling these 60s Batman series on Blu-ray for the last 4 weeks, and it's still on there. They haven't sold it, so maybe I'll pick that up, see if they're willing to do a good price on that one, and I might pick that up. We'll see how things go. But what I'm basically saying is I'm not going to be buying, you know, £200-300 worth of, you know, Steam Decks and cameras and all that kind of stuff. That sort of stuff is going to be on the back burner for a while. Until next time, guys, please take care and enjoy the rest of your day. Ta-ra.